So, welcome back for the next edition. I believe this is week 2 of Wednesday Wisdom, where we go live for 10 minutes at 10 a.m. Eastern and bring you wisdom, which could be anything from the 5-pillar system that I use one-on-one with my VIP clients. It could be something that's an interview from someone who has already succeeded in an area that you also want to succeed. It is something that business related. It could be mindset. It could be marketing. It could be sales systems. It could be time freedom systems. Or it could even be, how do you have more fun? How do you increase your income without actually increasing your workload? So today, what we're actually going to be talking about is systems for, as promised, for how to actually create some level of operation stability and predictability in what you are doing on a weekly and daily basis as a business owner. So I want to be clear, this broadcast really is for business owners who have an established 6 or 7-figure business. These strategies can work for someone in an 8-figure business, and they could work for someone who's not yet at 100K. And they really are curated for someone in the 6 and 7-figure space. So what I want to share is here's some things that I've learned that are true wisdoms I wish someone taught me and sat me down when I was first starting out and when I was hitting the 100K plus level in revenue in my business, because these pieces are so valuable when you realize, you know what, I don't have to be stressed because I don't know what to do or how to do it, or I feel like I'm throwing darts and I'm not sure what's hitting because it's dark in the room. So the goal of this is to give you some wisdom that can actually turn on the light in the room so you could see, where have I been shooting? Because what happens is when you're throwing darts and you're sending out social media posts, or you're doing marketing campaigns, or you're hopping on sales calls, or even just trying to reach out to do sales calls, if you're finding yourself tired or frustrated, or you're not getting as much done and accomplished, or as much progress as you want in a certain time frame, you know why? It's either because you're doing it the wrong way, or you're doing the wrong things, or you're doing it with the wrong people. So you're doing something wrong. And that means that there is a right way to do it, or there's a better way to do it. And so instead of asking what's the right way, what I want to ask you is, what's the better way? And in today's podcast, or today's live, what we're going to do is talk about what that is. So specifically talking about systems. So as promised, I like to deliver what I say I'm going to deliver. So I want to talk about what are the systems that you could have in place. So you're the way that you kind of see and kind of plan your week out, and the way that you see the way that you're going to spend time in 3 different buckets in terms of how you run your business and grow your business. So think of your business as like a tic-tac-toe board. So there's 9 different squares, right? You got the visual? So now I'm still learning the technology that I'm using for this and how to use screen share and show different things. So just work with me here. Tic-tac-toe board, 3 squares at the top, 3 squares in the middle, 3 squares on the bottom. The first 3 squares are kind of the 3 main buckets of your business. They are like this: S&M, which is not social media. It's sales and marketing. Could be social media is included in that as a vehicle. We'll talk about that momentarily. Sales and marketing. The next one is operations/management. And the third one is financial/scaling strategy. So this is where your bucket of growth, it's looking how much money is coming in, how much money is going out, where's it going, why is it going there, how much money should be going out. Maybe you need to increase your spending, maybe you need to decrease your spending, maybe you need to move your spending to another bucket, or another point of opportunity. So those are the 3 main buckets. Now, inside of the operations management bucket is what we're going to be talking about today, and a little bit of the S&M bucket as well. So what most people do is like this. They say, what have I seen work, or what have I heard that works for someone else in someone else's business? And maybe that'll work for me too. And so what they do is they kind of say, well, that worked really well for them, or suddenly they had a big breakthrough, so I'm just going to do the same thing and assume that it'll actually just have the same results for me also. So I want you to think about it like this. Let's say you have a close friend who's married, and your friend who's married got in a fight with their partner, right, with their spouse. And then you saw 2 days later, you come back and you say, well, it seems like they're on good terms. And you ask your friend, what did you do to resolve the problem? And your friend says, oh, we just spoke it out. Or I apologized, or whatever it is that they say. And you say, oh, well, that must work so that when I get in a fight or when I have an issue in my marriage or my partnership, I just, talk it out or I apologize. And then smooth as snow, right? It's just beautiful, good to go. What you don't get is there's a strategy of how do you actually talk it out. There's a strategy of what's the order of that conversation. There's a system. There's actually 3 parts to an apology of how to do it right. So you might see that there's an outcome and it might have worked for them, but you don't know those pieces in between. And that's one of the things I want to highlight today of practical steps that you can take, down to earth strategies that you can use. So specifically in terms of the operations management bucket, what I want you to imagine is, let's say we're looking at this as 3 different systems inside of that bucket of your business. So the first bucket is you have to understand that when you're running your business, your time has to be split. And if you have a spectrum of time, I'm a visual learner, so I hope you are too. And I assume you are if you're watching this on video, or at least if you're listening to it, maybe you're also kind of picturing this. So imagine there's a spectrum of your time, right? So let's say we were to look at this timeline of 100% of the time you have throughout the week. And we were to break it into 20% Monday, 20% Tuesday, 20% Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now, inside the bucket, you're going to fill up that time, not through default, not through activities. But imagine you have 0 things on your plate, and now you have to add things to it and justify what you're adding to that plate. Meaning you have nothing to do, no tasks, but you have a lot of things that you want to get done based upon clear specific goals, based upon clear specific objectives, and also based upon clear specific outcomes that your clients or customers want, which is why they come to you. So you're building what you're going to deliver to them. You're building how you're going to connect with them, and you're building how they're going to connect and speak to you, and also how to buy from you. So now that we're looking at your week, as in 2020, nothing to do with the year, right? So now you have to add something to it. The first thing you have to add is, what can I build? What can I refine that is actually something that is gold and asset to my business? That is not just something that'll sell today and get people's attention tomorrow and make me successful or make a marketing campaign make money over the next 2 weeks, but it's thinking much bigger. It's the bigger picture of what is it that will get people to come to me instead of my competitors. Specifically, how can I spend my time building something that makes me unique and makes me give something that is totally from my heart, from my soul, from my creative, from inside of me, because that automatically makes me stand out from my competition. So that's the first thing that you have to put on your plate for you to spend time on. How do I create that draw? Okay. Now, the second thing is, what do I need in order to get it to the next person, to that next level? Meaning, you have clients that want this. So I'll use myself for an example. My clients want clarity about how to make more money and how to free up their time. So the first thing I need to do is I need to create, okay, how can I get that information from me, put it in a clear way, and send it to them? And then spend time to actually create that. It shouldn't take much time if you're doing it right and you know who your customer is, exactly how they're thinking, and exactly how to get to them. But this is about actually creating the system for it. Now, once you're clear about those things about that, how to attract their attention, then you send it out in a systematic way that speaks to them similar to the way that they think, not the way that you think, not the way that you want them to think about your business, but in the way that they think. So for example, if let's say you help people with marketing, guess what? That's probably something you should send out very first thing in the morning, because that's on their mind at the beginning of the day. Not as many people might be thinking about that at 9:30 at night. They're thinking about sleep. They're thinking about planning. So maybe if you do organization and you do workflow management, that's the prime time to hit them, because that's the time of day where you want to get into their inbox, into their messenger, into their text message. And notice, by the way, each one of those are different strategies. So spending time in creating that system where the email's ready to go before you have to send it out, where the text message system or the opt-in is already ready to go with a list of numbers and the message is ready to go before you want to send it out. so that at 9:30 at night, if you're sending it out because you work on workflow, at the time when they think they need it, you just hit go or you automate it. So as you're deciding what are the things that I need to do in order to get the attention of my client at the time, or customer at the time that they need it, right? You have a clear reason of why they need it. You have the season of what time of day or what time of year or month they need this service, and they're thinking about what it is that you have to offer. And then you also have the way that you deliver that. And so everyone's a little different. On the next Wednesday Wisdom, what I plan to do is go in and give more specific examples of how I do this in my business, and give an example of what is the operations management, how do you set this up to automate it, delegate it, or delete it. Because any task that you're going to do, it's going to take up time. If you're not supposed to be doing it, then you should make sure it's update the way you're doing it, how you're doing it, what you're doing. Delegate it so that someone else should doing it if it's not something that's highest use of time for you, or automate it, or delete it if it's really not getting done and keeps getting pushed off. See you next week.